Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
On Tuesday, during a joint press conference in Seoul, alongside South Korean President Moon Jae-in, a reporter asked President Donald Trump if he would consider extreme vetting for people trying to buy guns, not just people entering the United States. President Trump said that extreme vetting for the ownership of firearms wouldn't have prevented the Texas church massacre that left 26 dead but could have left hundreds more dead if gun control was stricter. The president is right, and there's something else we should be focusing on right now besides gun control. Trump, rightfully annoyed at the question, asked the reporter right back if it was an appropriate question given the timing and the venue. He then said that extreme vetting wouldn't have made a difference in the shooting on Sunday and added that it would have prevented the actions of the brave person who happened to have a gun in his truck and shoot him, and hit him and neutralize him. Trump was referring to Stephen Williford, a plumber in Sutherland Springs, who shot the gunman, Devin Patrick Kelly, before jumping in a vehicle to chase him down. "I can only say this, if he didn't have a gun, instead of having 26 dead you would have hundreds more dead," Trump rightfully declared. Texas Department of Public Safety Chief Freeman Martin explained that Williford grabbed his rifle and engaged the suspect after Kelly left the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, where he killed at least 26 people and injured 20 more. Trump also mentioned on Monday that the mass shooting at Texas Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, was evidence of mental health problems at their highest level and called the killer a very deranged individual. As for the reporter's question about extreme vetting for gun owners, it should be noted that Kelly was not legally allowed to have a gun due to a dishonorable discharge from the military. However, the leftists seem to be blatantly leaving that little tidbit out because it doesn't fit their narrative. So, how exactly was gun control going to help out the situation? It wouldn't have. Do you know what stricter gun laws would have caused, however? More deaths. For the sake of conversation, let's say gun laws were more strict and most Americans are unable to have guns, including the good guy who shot the bad guy on Sunday. In that situation, Kelly is not only killing everybody in that church like the original plan most likely was, but then, he would have left the scene to possibly murder even more innocent people. Had the good guy not had a gun, Kelly would have easily gotten away, and when the police arrived, he would have already been long gone. That's what the left's extreme vetting would have caused. The president isn't lying when he said hundreds more could have died. The massacre on Sunday would have been a lot bloodier than it was if Americans didn't have the right to bear arms. Every time a mass shooting happens, before any of the information comes out, leftists are already calling for gun control on day one of the event. Every single time, it never fails. We've come to expect this from the elites, but the foot soldiers on the left saying this are just foolish. The Second Amendment was not implemented into the Constitution for hunting purposes. It was implemented for self-defense against a possible tyrannical government in the future. If you take that right away from citizens and the wrong politicians get in power, what makes anyone think they're not going to take advantage of it, enact martial law, and make the United States a complete police state? Don't be foolish to think it can't happen. That's why the Founding Fathers specifically worded the Second Amendment to say, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. There is one rule leftists have yet to learn: never be unaware of the unintended consequences. If the guns go away, so does our freedom. As far as Trump saying this was a result of mental health problems, there was surely some there for Kelly to pull such a disgraceful act, and that mental health issue seems to be extreme leftism. As Mad World News previously reported, this incident is just another example of left-wing extremism and how big of a problem it is in this country, and as people like Kelly prove, it's a mental illness. Instead of focusing on this issue of mental illness plaguing their ranks, the left is focusing on gun control, but why should we expect them to focus on the real problem of left-wing extremism? After all, it doesn't fit the narrative. Why should we expect outlets like CNN and Snopes to tell the truth when they blatantly lie and spew nothing but propaganda? After all, their lies and propaganda are responsible for the left-wing extremism that they most likely wanted to begin with. The left is such a joke, such an utter joke. And, honestly, it's pure evil. When we have a mass shooting that leaves 26 dead, the left takes advantage of it to push a gun control narrative for more power. When it's a left-wing extremist creating violence like we saw in both Las Vegas and Texas, the left doesn't mention it whatsoever. To put it even more bluntly, the left is causing all of the violence and misinformation, not to mention the degeneracy in society. Just look around. The leftist mentality is the problem in this country. Not gun control laws, the left. And, more accurately, left-wing extremism. And, we will continue to aggressively point it out. After all, it's a fact. Not blatant lies like the narratives from the left. Left-wing extremism is the problem, not gun control. Share the story and leave a comment by clicking one of the buttons below. Follow us on Facebook at Mad World News.